Matt Drudge. Who is he? Well, he's a internet millionaire. First, he worked at what, like a Hilton, a hotel, when he was starting out back in the 1990s. Worked in a gift shop actually. It's a gift shop retailer. Um, yeah, he was back there in the struggle. He wasn't born of money, so it wasn't like you know, it wasn't like Trump where he just inherited his father's empire. He just inherited um, his parents' dough. In essence, he's not like Anderson Cooper, a relative of Vanderbilt or Rockefeller. He's not already in by the time he's born. Is what I'm saying. So he had to go out there in the pit, in the struggle, and try to make a living. So um, then he, in the age of the internet, um, preface to this video is, you know, Elon Musk is Generation X. He's 10 years older than us millennials. So Generation X is in their 50s now. So these were people that were rocking mainly in the 1990s, the early 2000s, right? They're not dead yet just because they turned 50. They can still do stuff. I'm just saying like that was their prime time. And yeah, I guess the baby boomers' prime time was like in the 1980s, 1990s. And the Generation X was after that, sandwiched in between the baby boomers and the millennials. So it was mainly people born in the 70s that are in their 50s now, for the most part, the post boomers, and so the children after the baby boomers, essentially is what Generation X is. Um, so Elon Musk might have called Twitter, renamed it, rebranded rebranded it X because he loves X or he loves the number 10. There's a lot of theories to why he would name his company X. It may have to do just with his generational number, I mean, his generational letter number, depending. So, Roman numeral or the actual letter. So, or if you think he's being cute, like X marks the spot, he's trying to be a pirate. He wants to be a Pirates of the Caribbean 6 or something like that, right? So who knows what? There's a million theories to what the symbol X could mean. It's like it's probably the most strangest letter in our alphabet, and yeah, I guess it's the one that's shrouded in the most like cryptic mystery. Yeah, I guess the only other letter that could rival the actual mystery is maybe E or perhaps Z. So Z is kind of Zeta is kind of a strange letter as well. So, but the most strangest phonetically, the weirdest, and there's not many letters that represent numbers in our language. So X is probably the one that is the most esoteric, the most complex. So the most with a myriad of meanings. But you just want to break it down simply. Elon Musk is from Generation X, and so that's what he named his company after, X. So he just loves X. Of course, you have sex has X. Why didn't they just call it SECS, sex? Yeah, or SEKS. Sex is with X, and X is also the chromosomes of sex in the human species. So XX and XY, and genetically speaking, yeah, it has to do with male and female uh, chromosomes, DNA, RNA, so forth. So, anyways, yeah, probably why I chose it. It had so many multiple meanings, and you could have a cocktail party or You have a party, people are sitting around at a table. Hey, what do you think they called Elon Musk called Twitter X? And then everybody else could have some sort of different answer. And so that's kind of amuses Elon Musk, right? I mean, after you become a multi-successful billionaire, um, one of the richest men in the world, what do you do after that? Well, I guess you launch cars to Mars, and you delight yourself in indulgent uh, esotericism or esoteric endeavors, you know. So he's got it all. He's got the women, he's got the money, he's got the cars, he's got the children, he's got whatever a man could ever dream or desire of at his command. But maybe he lacks the occasional amusement. You know what I mean? Just the the amusement of a child, to uh, the ability to like see a butterfly and to smile and just look at the garden and just smell a rose. Maybe he lacks that particular ability to just kind of, you know, take it in, like to look at his estate and look at the garden and just go, ah, yes, life, and you know, just breathe it in, enjoy it for what it's worth. And maybe that's not all. Maybe that doesn't always, with his hectic lifestyle and schedule. Maybe that doesn't always. Maybe he finds those moments to be fleeting and not seemingly sustained. Um, but anyhow, so Matt Drudge begins in a gift shop. Read a little bit of his biography out of curiosity. He's a gay man. He has this like really dopey looking chin. He has this chin that's like, God, it looks almost like a cancer growth. It's like, anyways, and then he wears these like old fedoras and stuff. He's trying to look like he's some. He's trying to pretend like he's a writer, but I guess he is a writer, but not really. He runs a Drudge Report is a news aggregate site. What does that mean, aggregate? It means he links. He came up with the, you know, excellent idea to make revenue off of linking internet news sites. And so I guess he looks at himself as a writer journalist, even if he doesn't really have formal. I don't know if he has any formal degrees to that effect, but anyhow, so yeah, no children, not married. Well, he might be, you know, in a same-sex marriage, but there's going to be no kids unless he adopted any. And so, why does he hate Trump so much? Why did he go so far to the left? Why is he supporting Joe Biden? Why is he a traitor? Yeah, that's a long story, but me and my friends, I guess in the 2000s, we would go to Drudge Report because that was all the news sites were linked together. So it was like our, I guess it was like our news source. Now we could have just went to the Daily Mail, we could have just went to Yahoo News or Google News, or we could have went to any number of sources to get the information. Fox News, CNN, MS, Microsoft, Bill Gates Network. We could have went um, anywhere, because essentially Drudge Report is the middleman. He just gathers all the news sites and their breaking stories, and then he writes about them, and then it's a news aggregate website. So he really, and then he just puts ads on it, and he gets the revenue from the ads and the traffic, the site traffic. Um, Old school would be you would make more revenue based off the ads and based off the website traffic, at least in the old model. Now they have different internet revenue and ad models right now, so they're kind of similar, but they were different back in the day when the internet was, you know, a virgin, when it was new. So um, before it's got it before the internet got its cherry popped, right? So, but why do you need a middleman? Well, I guess his service was that it was convenient. So he's trying to make a website where you don't have to type in, you have to type in Drudge Report, right? But you don't have to type in, okay, CNN, Fox News. It's all strung together. So I guess the news aggregate website. So I guess that was the service or product that he provided, and he made multi-million dollars. I think his net worth is about $50 million plus right now. So not a super millionaire, but doing just fine financially speaking. Doing quite all right uh, by the debt-ridden, impoverished American populace in the general main. So it's not like he's like one of the Americans that's like, oh crap, I don't have 5,000 in my bank, in my savings for an emergency. He's like, oh, I got the 50 million. Woo. Yeah. So an emergency happens, he's good to go, right? He's ready to fix the car, pay the medical bill, or a lot of things that Americans can't afford right now with Biden inflation and a recession on the horizon and crappy jobs and all that stuff. So yeah, he did quite well. Um, there's sacrifices to being gay. And what is that sacrifice? Well, the choice to be gay, the decision to be gay, or in the LGBTQ trans community, um, the queer community, well, you have to give up on a lot, don't you? You have to sacrifice the spreading of your genetic material, reproduction. So, unless he impregnates a woman, he won't be able to have a son or daughter, or he'll have to adopt them or something. So, he could create his own family, but it would be people that were already existing. So, uh, adopting refugees and so forth. So, but then if he does not choose to do that, then it's just him and his partner, his life mate, homosexual. Yeah, Matt Fudge, Matt Drudge. So, do the Trump traitors have a future? Certainly, people have a right to be flip floppers. They can vote Democrat one election cycle, they can vote Republican the next cycle, they can vote Independent the next cycle, they can vote Green Party the next. Certainly, will have the right to vote however they wish. If they want to be sellouts, they want to be traitors, they can do that. People are allowed to sell their souls to the devil. People are allowed to sell their souls to Bill Gates and worship Mark Zuckerberg, and they're allowed to sell out, and blow that blow that ding dong. They're they can kiss anybody's ass if they think it's gonna improve their station in life. Um, they'll join any party if they think it's the one that's gonna win. They just don't care. There are people that don't have any principles. They don't have any loyalties. They will betray people. There are such a thing as like fair weather friends. They're around when the money's flowing in, and then when the shit dries up, they're gone. They're just like, there are tons of people like that. Tons of people that are like, oh hey, look, it's raining money from the sky, and then when it all dries up, everybody leaves. They're traitors. They're not loyal. They don't stick in. They don't you know crawl over the wire, or they don't sacrifice anything. It's not in their nature to sacrifice. It's not in their nature to stay true. It's Some people just think that they don't have to. Some people think, well, it's my prerogative, it's my right to. I can sell out. I can be this. I can be that. I can flip flop. I can go over here and go over there. That's how some people think. And yeah, some people, they don't have loyalty. They just, wherever the winds blow, that's where they go. And they don't have any integrity. They don't have honesty. They don't have loyalty. They don't have any of that. They just go whatever to the most convenient, expedient thing that they can. They never tackle anything difficult. They never think of anything outside themselves. They're narcissistic, selfish. There are lots of these kind of people in our society. So it is not surprising. They have the freedom to do it, so that is why they do it. Um, Myself, it's I'm loyal to the party and I'm loyal to Donald Trump, and that's what it is. And it doesn't change even if 10 years pass by. I'm still not going to vote for Joe Biden or the Obamites. I'm still not going to vote for uh, the Democrats anymore. I'm not going to vote for the sellouts. I'm not going to vote for all of these jackasses. It's just not happening. The rhinos, the Republicans in name only, that just sold their souls to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and stuff for the sake of the Biden crime family. So I'm not doing it. I'm not here to represent the bicoastal elites. I'm not here to represent Mark Zuckerberg or Joe Biden or Barack Hussein Obama. I'm not here to represent um, Bill Gates and these other kind of globalist characters that want to run and ruin our lives and take away our constitutional freedoms and liberties. I don't represent those people at Martha's Vineyard and Kenny Bunkport and their private Caribbean islands or Jeffrey Epstein Islands or whatever, Booty Girl Islands. I don't represent those people. So, you know, I stay true to the loyalty. I'm not a traitor for Trump. Um, could it be that Matt Drudge, he knows he can't have children, and Donald Trump is a grandfather, a great grandfather, maybe even. But Trump has lots of children. He's a heterosexual male. If he has $3 billion, if he wants some booty, he's going to get some booty. You know what I mean? If he wants the goods, he just goes over to Romania or some where all the hot chicks are in the poor village, and he just gets a girl if he needs a new one. All right. So he has the money to go get the hot chicks, whether they're in Sweden or wherever, Eastern Europe or whatnot. Or they could be in America too, but I mean, probably wanted. Yeah, the chicks are hotter over there in Eastern Europe. Let's be honest. And Matt Fudge, is he just jealous of Trump? Is that it? Just he's a millionaire and he'll never get to be a billionaire, and that just burns him. Matt Drudge's excuse is that he says that Trump didn't build the wall, so he said it was an unfulfilled campaign promise. So that he flipped left. He went hard Biden communism. So he went hard left. People were kind of stunned. People that had been going to the Drudge Report and enjoying. My friend really didn't enjoy this. I think it was Trayvon Martin was killed by George Zimmerman, or maybe it was a riot before George Floyd, but it was like in the 2010s, and it was around Christmas. I think it was maybe it wasn't Trayvon Martin that happened like real early. That was like during Obama's reign, and that was back in 2012. So I want to say maybe it was like 2015 or something. But there was one holiday season where a maybe by a white. I think it was the guy who got shot at the convenience store, right? There was a guy who was robbing, trying to gank, candy bars. It was a teenager, and he's just trying to steal candy from the quickie mart. Well, the white dude or the Pakistani dude killed him, and so there's repeats. This kind of shit usually happens in or fucking Wisconsin or somewhere. It's usually in a city like that has like a high African American population. And then when one of them gets killed, then they riot and burn down the Wendy's and shit like that. Stuff that necessarily wouldn't really happen in other metro areas. So um, it's not right if a Indian Quickie Mart Apu shoots a guy over a candy bar. That's kind of, I mean, even if people are doing like a beer run and they're just jacking beer and jacking tobacco, I mean, do the Pakistani, Indian, Arab dudes, do they have the right to kill the people for that? I don't think so. I mean, they, they had the scene in New York where the guy was like beating the shit out of the black robber, and really, it's like he just kept beating the shit out of him and beating the shit out of him, and it was like kind of getting gratuitous after a while. Yeah, maybe that was too much, like an overreaction. You know, I could imagine you go on a beer run and you're trying to gank the grocery store or whatever, and the people moan. They're like, oh, you're just jacking beer. I could see that happening. Or somebody's jacking tobacco, somebody's jacking vapes, or whatever the case may be. Somebody's jacking liquor. Okay, I could I could imagine that. If there's a flash mob at the Nordstrom's and it's like 20 people in hoodies and they're all uh, just in a flash mob, and one of those guys got shot, I would understand because people would be afraid if a flash mob comes into the mall and it's like 20, 30, 40 people and they just start jacking everything, like raiding, and somebody pulls a gun and shoots one of the guys and they die, then that's kind of like, they're kind of asking for it. They're stealing high end merchandise, they're scaring the public, and then they get shot and they die. That's different than somebody taking a fruitcake or or even a beer run or something. It's just like they report to the police, they ban the person from the store, and all that stuff. So they have to go through the official channels, like, oh, this guy took more than $20. He took, $40 worth of shit, and we want to get him, arrested, and we want to charge him with a crime, blah blah blah. So um, Matt Drudge put on his news aggregate website, he would put a picture, and then he'd put the lead story that he would link. And that Christmas, instead of season's greetings, he put like all the big mob of rioters in Wisconsin or wherever this shit usually happens. Right? It's usually in uh, Waukesha or Kenosha or something. It's usually in the same hot spots, right, where this shit happens. But let's be honest. The riots usually happen in the same place with the same kind of people, and they're usually similar scenarios as well. Let's not lie about what really is going on. Okay, so the first step is honesty, and the second part doesn't have to be acceptance, but the first part has to be honesty. So that's how you move forward, with the truth, at least. I don't think that thieves should be beaten to death or killed, but on the other hand, stealing is wrong, and then number three is the public has the right to defend itself. So there's that as well. Um, if the public is scared, they could overreact if they're caught in a situation that is very fast, escalating, frightening, that sort of thing. So the criminals know if they mob up into groups of 20 or 30 people and they rush them all, that people are probably going to not resist, and most people will run, and most people will be scared, and most people will be like shocked. And so they count on that shock factor to steal the items, all the high end items that they desire. So expensive shopping items. Well, I mean that could go for any retail store though, not just malls, but that's just one particular example. So Matt Drudge put on for that particular riot, that particular year, he put on the website Seasons Beatings instead of Seasons Greetings. I shared it with my friend, Seasons Beatings. He did not seem amused. I said, "Hey, look, it's Seasons Beatings. Isn't that funny?" And he goes, "No, it's not funny," because he knew what happened. That he's very bleeding heart liberal. He's like, he's very sensitive if I'm talking about anything with the different colored communities. He gets very, very sensitive, very butthurt, very, very easily. So he's what they call, I don't know if he's exactly a Democrat, but he is some sort of liberal at least. He's definitely some sort of liberal, um, a white liberal, if you will. So I thought that was funny. There was another one that was really funny. It was like in the mid 2000s when the Arab terror wars were going on in the Middle East, Middle Eastern conflicts and jihadi terrorism wars were in full swing. So it was like 2007. It was when the Muslim Brotherhood came to be, and there was this picture of these people with Guy Fawkes uh, masks, like from V from Vendetta, and they were kind of had their hands in the air like they were defying the imperialists and defying America or NATO or something in Iraq or the Levant uh, in Syria or something. And the quote below, it wasn't as funny as Season's Beatings, but it said Muslim B-hood, we win. Instead of saying the Muslim Brotherhood, it said Muslim B-hood, we win. And me and my friend were just laughing. Not everybody would think that B-hood is funny, but we thought it was funny. Muslim B-hood. So sometimes we would go see the lead story on the Drudge Report just for a laugh. And there was a time when you could get a good laugh out of like late night TV. There was a time where you could get a laugh off a website. There was a time where you could get a little chuckle, something funny. Um, Not anymore. You can't really turn on late night TV and get a good chuckle. You can't turn on daytime TV and get a laugh. It's all just by the legacy media, Disney, ABC, NBC, Universal, um, CBS, Viacom, whatever the legacy media of the lettered multi uh, multinational global entertainment conglomerates are. Um, the news and entertainment conglomerates. It doesn't matter which you turn on. It's the same fucking thing. Or Microsoft network, Bill Gates network, um, CNN, MSNBC. Whatever you turn on, it's going to be Trump is bad and don't vote for Trump. All the way leading up to the election. And all it's going to be is the Drudge Report saying that Trump is in a slump and all this shit. And that's all it's going to be, just a bunch of lies and distortions and a bunch of propaganda, with the purpose of all the propaganda being one thing: to try to stop the election, to try to interfere with the election of Donald John Trump in his second term. That's what the establishment wants. Trump never gains power again. That's their goal. Now, the 75 million people who voted for Trump in the last election, plus, like us, um, and plus the independents that are fed up with Joe Biden, well, they're going to flip. Those people, the loyalists are going to make, Trump's base is going to remain loyal because that's a badge of honor for us. To stay true, it's like being faithful in a marriage. It really is. It means you stayed true. You stayed true to your principles through thick and through thin. And that's something that a lot of Americans would count as courage or admirable, honorable. And that's something that our, the traitors and the Judas Iscariots don't have. They don't have this badge of loyalty. They don't. They're not loyal to their party. They're not loyal to their candidate. They'll flip on a dime because they don't have integrity. They don't have loyalty. They don't have faithfulness. They don't have principles. And so, for that reason, they're going to fail. And if you just go places where the getting's good, wherever the wind blows, it's not a very excellent strategy. It just seems convenient at the time, but it's not going to lead you to great victory. It's not going to lead you to a triumphant outcome. You're probably going to end up on the wrong side of history, and you're probably going to end up looking like a fool. That's if the 2024 election is free and fair, which it doesn't look very fair so far with 4 indictments by liberal George Soros Biden DAs and a corrupt Merrick Garland Department of Injustice. With all the feds and all the establishment going after Trump, it really complicates his reelection bid because it is election interference. It's unconstitutional and it's illegal, and most American citizens know that. Um, but the election is not decided by Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg. Even if Mark Zuckerberg donates another 500 million, like he did in 2020 to this next election in 2024, they think they can buy it if they get enough dough that they can rig and buy elections. They think that's how they can do it. But the American people are going to vote um, for the re-election of Donald Trump. 75 million plus people are going to defy the bi-coastal elites. They're going to defy the tech tyrants. And they're going to make the right choice for America. And so I have utter faith and confidence, not in the traitors, not in the betrayers like Matt Drudge, not for the spinsters and the liars, not for the corrupt. I don't have any faith in them, but in the 75 million plus Trump voters and the people, the independents voters and those people, I have every bit of confidence and faith that we are going to do the best to get Joe Biden, his corrupt crime family, out of fucking power, and his entire party out of power. We're going to do our best that we can to throw the masters of the universe out of power, and the globalists and the anti-American people that are ruining our country. And so I do have confidence in that, great confidence. And so for the flip floppers, for the people who get married and then they go fuck around and stuff, I don't have much. No, I don't have any belief in them. But for the people that stayed tried and true, for the people that have been dedicated to the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, for us, um, yeah, I have great faith in the non-leftists, in the non-communists, in the non-socialists, the non-Marxists. I have great faith in us, the constitutionalists, the Republicans, the conservatives, the Trumpers, the MAGAs. I have great confidence in our ability to win big time in the landslide reelection of Donald John Trump. MAGA, Make America Great Again, 4 more in 2024. Donald pumped. To hell with Matt Drudge. He's just a middleman. And he's just going to spew lies. And he's just going to revel in the indictments because he wants Trump to go down. But unfortunately for those people, Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Drudge and Joe Biden, Trump isn't going down. He's right. He's rising up. So, oh, he just called it D. No mugshot for Dawn. All right. Odds maker offers bets on how much Trump will weigh at Georgia booking. Ex-president risks turning co-conspirators against him. Jokes about fleeing country. Blah, 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 blah. Wall Street declaring victory too early. U.S. still headed for recession. So it's a. Did Biden fall asleep during Maui wildfire memorial service? Oh wow. Campaign won't commit to debating. Well, they're not. No. Joe Biden won't debate Donald Trump. Yeah, because he's too old. He can't. He can't play that big, strong man, super grandpa card anymore. Um, he's gonna be falling asleep, and he's gonna be what? What's going on? And Mr. President, are you here? And he'll be talking to imaginary people, and it's going to be just like a big Alzheimer's convention at the nursing home for octogenarians, people that are 80 years old. So it's just going to be, yeah, it's going to be embarrassing, dude. So that's why he's not going to debate. He can't act like he's some hard boiled Delaware Democrat that he's not going to be physically or mentally in a realm of faculty that can be operable to perform uh, decently in any kind of debate with his rivals. He won't even debate like RFK, or he won't even debate Bernie Sanders. I mean, I don't. I mean, Bernie Sanders is like what, almost 90 years old or something. I mean, can't even debate Bernie. Weekend at Bernie's and shit. So. Um, yeah, I mean, I would like to see that debate, new, fresh debates of Joe Biden and Donald Trump, but it may never happen because Trump doesn't want to get into a trap where he's ensnared by a moderator. He doesn't want to walk into a rigged debate where people are just going to attack him constantly, and he's not going to be able to, where they're going to call him a criminal and a liar and a thief, and he won't have any defense. He wants to go places where he is well defended. Biden is similarly in that same vein, analogous. He wants to go places where he feels safe, like his Delaware beach home, at the White House. He wants to go to New York and liberal enclaves as well. He wants to go places where he feels safe. He wants to go on vacation. He wants to go whatever. He wants to go to Camp David and go hang out. He does not want to be in a debate where he would look like a fool and get defeated very easily. So even though his loyalists, loyal Democrats and leftists and Marxists will vote for him, those in California and New York, and Washington D.C. will vote for him. Those in California and New York, and Washington D.C. and Austin, Texas, and those places are going to vote for him because those are his kind of people. And so, people that are willing to sell their souls out to China for a green energy scam, those are the kind of people. Um, so, good luck. Good luck with that. But I'm betting on the re-election of Donald John Trump in 2024. MAGA, Make America Great Again, for more in 2024. Donald pumped. Hell yeah. There's a lot of enthusiasm for Donald Trump, Donald Trump's reelection. Uh, you might have your naysayers, but people did. Hillary Clinton and the Democrats underestimated Donald Trump in 2016, and he derailed their plans for the global liberal world order. And we'll do it again, too. We'll derail those Chinese energy scams. We will derail this leftist woke agenda. We will derail all of cloud for the global liberal world order. We will derail those plans again and keep derailing it until we get our country back from these fiends. from these power drunk, corrupt politicians and the technological tyrants that have hijacked our country. We will get it back. And the first step to getting it back is to elect Donald John Trump back into the presidency. That's the first step of getting our country back on track and out of the Bidenflation and the Biden doom spiral. So that's how we're going to do it. That's how we're going to take the power back from the Obamites and the Clintonians, the Democrat Party in general, and the uniparty state, the deep state, the Republicans, the rhinos, the Republicans in name only. The traitors will be routed out. The the corruption will be rooted out like a poison. We will weed it out. We'll start fresh with the new administration and the re-election of Donald John Trump, the 47th president. So all you have to do is just watch the left's. Just don't fall for their propaganda, and all you have to do, their Russian state propaganda is Russian Federation state-controlled propaganda is basically what the media is now. They're just shilling for the Biden-Harris administration and for the global liberal world order. They don't represent us anymore, and as American citizens, we know that they represent somebody in the hills somewhere in Silicon Valley. They represent some wealthy elite in some high-rise New York bungalow loft that normal people can't usually never even afford. They want open borders and illegal aliens to flow in to get voters, but they don't want to house any of them in their houses or their mansions and their estates. They say they want diversity, but the only interracial people in Martha's Vineyards are the Obamas. Those are the only black people in the entire thing. So they say they want this diversity and this woketopia, but they refuse to they don't want to live in that though. So they have no principles, only convenience and expediency, only what benefits them, not what is good for American citizens or what's good for the greater goal, the greater good of America. And so for that reason, they're going to fail miserably, even if they do not even know it yet. Even if they think they got this next election in the bag, not even close. So Trump is going to secure the GOP nomination, and then he's going to go on to defeat Joe Biden. Joe Biden will be a failed, miserable retiree who only got in office because of a Chinese plague, SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19. That's it. He's not going to get his own library. He's not going to get a statue to himself. He's just going to be like, oh, remember that old fart that used to run the country? Remember that guy who got in on the Chinese virus? People refer to him as not just the former president, but they'll probably mark him down. Look, this guy was like one of the worst presidents in like U.S. history. He's going to go down as a cantankerous buffoon. He's going to go down as a plagiarist, a liar, someone who did corrupt business dealings with China and Burisma in the Ukraine. He's going to be known as the Biden corrupt crime family who made so many millions of dollars off their position and abused their position of power. And that's what he'll be known for. He'll be known for corruption, lying, plagiarism, and all of his attributes. And so he's not going to be remembered as some saintly, stately grandpa that everybody loved or something. He's not going to be known for that. He's not going to be synonymous. Uh, if Bill Gates is in Microsoft Corporation, or Tim Cook of Apple, or making the books, yeah, they might paint him in a rosy light. Oh, this is one of the greatest presidents ever. They could write, but it doesn't. They can write. They can control the information however they want, but it doesn't mean that people are actually going to believe it, because people just naturally don't want to believe lies, even if they're comfortable ones. So, yeah, if Bill Gates is writing the story of the Joe Biden biography, it's going to be, they're going to leave out the plagiarism, the plagiarism. They're going to leave out the lies. They're going to leave out his multiple failed campaigns. They're going to leave all that stuff out, because really, um, the left and the Democrats have far more to lose if Trump is reelected. And I wouldn't say they have more to lose than the American citizens do, but it means maybe even that the Democrats lose control of the Senate. It'll be a disaster for them if Biden loses. It'll be like one of the greatest days to be an American citizen when they are defeated next year. So, God bless, best of success. Yeah, Matt Drudge, does he have like gay rage? Because everybody understands like incel rage, right? Some guys like Elliot Rogers, and he has all this stuff, but his problem is he can't get the blonde chick with the green eyes, because the blonde chick with the green eyes is not looking for a man that I mean, certainly there's gold diggers that look for men with stuff and money and access and stuff like that. Certainly there is, but that just want to go shopping, and they'll suck your dick or whatever. They don't care. Of course, there's women like that, but um, most women, they would not actively pick someone who is retarded or someone with Asperger's. So when they saw Elliot Rogers, they just thought, "Oh, there's something wrong with him, right?" And so that's when he developed that complex. Like, hey, I got access, I got money, I got nice cars, I got nice clothes. Why am I not getting blonde young women with green eyes? And so he's went off the rails into that complex. It's just what he did not fathom is that sometimes women, when they're selecting mates, that they look at somebody, they look at their facial affect, and they say, "Is that guy retarded? Is there something wrong with him?" Or they look at, does he have Asperger's? And they might see that, they might be like, "Oh, well, avoid that," because he's not, Joey from Friends. He's not like a regular guy. He's not Mark Wahlberg or something like that. He's not just your regular average dude. He's not Chris Pratt or whatever. So women, they have eyes, so they're going to look at the guys and be like, "Hey, is there something wrong with him?" And then they're going to avoid. Women are not looking for weird dudes who look retarded, and so or they have Asperger's or something wrong with them, or Down syndrome, or whatever. They're not like, "Oh man, I want a guy with schizophrenia or something." Those golden princesses aren't looking for that shit. So guys that think that, "Oh man, the entire human race betrayed me and stuff," it's like, no, it's just like, be honest with yourself. It's like, if you're not good looking, you're not good looking. If chicks are not paying attention to you, there's a reason why, right? If a lot of chicks are paying attention to you, then you're on the right track, right? So if chicks are like, "Hey, what's over here?" Like, "Oh, look, this guy over here." If girls are always checking you out, you got to worry about the babes, the britches. But if nobody's checking you out, nobody cares, then that could be a problem. If the opposite sex doesn't show any interest at all, there's probably a reason for that. Maybe you dress funny, maybe you look funny. It's I know it's cruel, but it's a cruel world. So people look with their eyes. So if you smell and you don't take showers, there's probably a reason why chicks or people are avoiding you. You know, because you smell bad or you smell like shit or something. So yeah, just something to consider for the Aspies out there and the Elliot Roger incels. So you understand incel rage, but is there like a rage in the LGBTQ community, the queer community, the trans community? Is there a rage that they're not normal? Is there like a rage like where they're like, you know, there's a lesbian lady. I had this lesbian boss. She had breasts. She presumably had a vagina, and but she dressed like a dude. She got a short dude's haircut, and she was a lesbian, and she put on she was acting like a male, and she put on button-up shirts, and she wore slacks like a guy would, and had the business attire, and never grew her hair long. Always looked like she was in the military, and always talked like a butch dude. Always talked like, "Hey," but it was obviously a female. She had breasts. She's born a girl. Her parents probably dressed her in little girly outfits and stuff, and gave her doll houses when she was a little kid. She played with Barbies or something. And then one day after puberty, she was like, "Hey, I'm gay," and then she started dressing like a dude or something. Or maybe it was a gradual process. Maybe it was a painful process. I don't know. But uh, so, do these people? Do they just do they hate on straight people? Do they hate on Trumps and people who get down with the opposite sex? Are they pissed that they can't have their own children? That they can't replicate their DNA? Are they angry at this particular fact? They could. That could be possible, of course. I mean, that's a possibility that I thought, like envy, you know, jealousy. These are not feelings that I have in great plentitude, but other people do have envy and jealousy and these kind of hangups, right? Am I right? Other people do have these feelings. Just because I don't have them or understand them doesn't mean that other people don't. Just because other people have emotions that I don't understand doesn't mean that they aren't going on. All right. So, um, yeah, I'm not jealous of other people's success. I'm just not naturally. That's not one of my attributes. Now, for someone to freak out if I'm successful or I get a beautiful woman or something, a beautiful girlfriend or whatnot. Uh, Now, for other people to get jealous and be butthurt and throw a tantrum, I don't understand. But you know, why you would not want someone else to be successful? Why you would not want somebody? It's kind of like when you want somebody sick to get better. Wouldn't that be kind of like a normal kind of human a reaction of a human being? Wouldn't you want to see something destroyed, rebuilt? Wouldn't you want to see the guy in the hospital get out of the hospital, or wouldn't you want to see um, people just get better? Why do some people they don't have those similar feelings of human beings? It's baffling, unless they're sociopaths and psychopaths. I guess there's a big percentage of sociopaths and psychopaths in our society. That's the only way I could explain it. If they're not Norman Bates or Ted Bundy, they're kind of like in uh, they're kind of going that direction, I guess. But the natural and normal thing is to be like, oh, my brother is sick or my sister is sick, and then it's like, oh, I hope they get better. That's good, and you do your prayers and you hope they get better. That would be a normal human reaction. So it's not normal to have the Elliot Roger reaction where you see the guy and he's kissing the uh, blonde girl with the dazzling gold eyes, and it's not natural for the guy to go, say, oh fuck these people. I'm so jealous of their love. I'm gonna kill them. See, that's not normal. I mean, you could be jealous, like say, oh, I wish I was kissing that girl or something like that, right? Yeah, okay, sure. But hurting them though, that's that means the person is fucked up. There's something wrong with them. Matt Drudge, does he get um, homosexual jealousy of heterosexuals? Do they feel that emotion? At least they know that they can never have their own children except through adoption or some in vitro kind of thing, fertilization. They can only do it using a woman or using sperm or something. They can only do it through like kind of like contrived artificial methods and techniques. But they can never do it for themselves. The natural old-fashioned way. So of genetic reproduction and replication of genetic code. I've considered the possibility of gay rage with Matt Drudge. Um, Not only will he never have his own children, he'll never be a billionaire. Does that burn him? Donald Trump's a billionaire and he's not. I don't know what he's specifically angry at Donald Trump for. He just went far left, far loony, and now he's no better off than Jimmy Kimmel, or uh, he's no better off than any Whoopi Goldberg on The View or something. He's just gone that direction, that crazy direction, and he's allowed to go off it, but um, it's not going to give him more ad revenue or more traffic. Most Trump supporters aren't going to visit his site every day. Um, Me and my generation did it out of habit to get comic tidbits, but there's no more comic tidbits anymore. There's nothing funny about it anymore. There's nothing entertaining about it anymore. There's no seasons beatings. There's no Muslim B-hood, we win. There's nothing to grin about anymore. It's just gone. You can't turn on late night TV anymore. Uh, Even before the writers and the actors strike over artificial intelligence and fair pay and all that stuff. But it would be refreshing one day to turn on a late night show on one of the major networks and to actually laugh. It would be great one day to turn on Saturday Night Live, maybe by the time it's 50th anniversary, and actually laugh at a show. But it's probably not going to happen because it's going to be a woke leftist Marxist lecture on why 75 million plus Americans who voted for Trump are wrong and how they're bad and evil people. And instead of getting like a fun show, you're going to get a political tirade, and instead of the show. Now, this video is about politics. It's about Matt Drudge. It's about how far left he went. Um, his homosexuality is his own business. I was just trying to, explore in depth what a character like this, with his background, could be thinking or feeling. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I don't know him. Uh, Never met him. Never probably will. So don't really like him. Don't really care about him either. So there's that. Um, but just try to, from what the facts are, try to draw, speculation. What could be happening here? So it doesn't mean it's definitive truth. It just means that it's conjecture. It is speculation. Okay. So using facts as a template to further speculate what could be happening. And so with a character like Matt Drudge, how come he was such a big Trump supporter and then he just flip flopped in the opposite direction? Um, uh, Baffling many uh, people who enjoyed the entertaining aspects of the Drudge Report, the news aggregate, internet webpage, um, journalism link site, and well, they call it the news aggregate site, kind of a fancy word for linking all the web pages into one page and then writing headlines based on all of those happenings and so forth. And some of the links are not all like totally official sites. Some of them are kind of tabloidish, and so you have to take some of the links that you click on with a grain of salt, because a lot of it could be speculative, could be just rumors and hearsay and stuff like that. So you kind of have to take some of the articles with a grain of salt, or at least check for bias and check, you know, like check sources for the factuality of the information. So, um, that's always good to just not take somebody's word for it on face value, to just kind of check for yourself. That's just like a journalist. That's like any truth seeker's tool, is to verify. I guess, as Ronald Reagan used to say, trust but verify. So, not because you're paranoid or you're a conspiracy theorist. It's just, it's always good to just check. Hey, is the story that the politicians and the media telling me, are they accurate, or is it bullshit? Well, people, if you want to get down to the truth, then you need to know. You can't just take what the president or what NBC News tells you every night. You can't accept that as the pure gospel of what was actually happening, because you have to examine the agenda and the biases behind those things. So it's just good for a good investigative truth seeker, journalist, or somebody writer to trust but verify what people are telling you. So um, that's just a good that's just a good rule of thumb for any kind of person interested in the truth of what's happening, the real nitty gritty truth of what's going on in our civilization, in our country, in our society, civilization, yeah, and so forth. What's going on in our world? So the story might come on the news and it's really cookie cutter, but there's always a story and layers of the story behind the story. You know, like there are layers that make up a person, and there are complicated layers that make up people and stories. And so, getting to the brass tacks, the nitty gritty, that's getting down to the essence, getting down to the veritas, getting down to the truth, is uh, important for any constitutional uh, liberty and democracy. So that's why that's important. Um, it's good for honesty. Honesty can breed success. Lies and corruption only breed disaster and defeat. That's just the way I look at it. Not all people think like that, though. Some people think I have to lie for a living, or otherwise nobody will buy my shit. Yeah. I know some people think the exact opposite of what I just said, and a lot of them, unfortunately, have power, and they have a lot of corruption, and they believe that they have to plagiarize, they have to lie, they have to steal to be successful. They think that's the only way, and but that's not that's not the only way. The best way is honesty, truthfulness, transparency. That's the real road to success, of any caliber, of any type, of any person or any organization. So, God bless, best of success, peace. Matt Drudge, just a middleman, just a passing fad. Replicate his own kind, reproduce his DNA into the next onward into this century. So, well, he chose his existence, and in a lot of ways, we choose who we are, and that is a great freedom and responsibility, but it's also a burden at times. And so, uh, handle it with care. But yeah, he chose his life, his lifestyle, and he wants to be anti-Trump. But if you find yourself a Trump traitor and you're on the wrong side of history, and the Democrat Party is defeated, then you're going to look pretty silly after January 20th, 2025. Uh, if the left and Matt Drudge and Biden get their wish and they're able to um, interfere with the Democratic elections in 2024, if they're able to put Trump in jail or defeat Trump on some witch hunt persecution, then American citizens would have lost, and the global world order would have won against us. So that's really what's at stake. Uh, Dethroning tech tyrants like Mark Zuckerberg. That's our mission. And so, if we fail the mission, then the country is lost. The Bill of Rights, kiss that shit goodbye. Um, I guess George Carlin once said, "What are rights if they can be taken away?" He said, "You don't have rights; you have temporary privileges." His monologues were always so great. So we have to make sure that our Bill of Rights and our U.S. Constitution are not temporary privileges, that they're uh, for all time, for all of American life, for hundreds of years, thousands of years into the future. We must make sure that the Bill of Rights and the U.S. constitutional amendments are not temporary privileges, but gifts of liberty from our founding fathers uh, to the 250th anniversary of America and beyond, coming soon. So, uh, yeah, it's up to us. The ball's in our court. It's up to us to make things right, make America great again. Peace. Oh yeah, we got to show you this though. Yeah, I know you're growling. Yeah, I know. Well, we're going. I know. All right. Yeah, I know. Do you need a banana? Little poo poo. Little poo poo. We'll get one. We'll get one. We'll go check on Mama. Mama's making chicken too. All right. Dinner time. Make America great again. For more. 2024. MAGA. Peace. Trump. Okay, we'll go.